Welcome to another Trump reading video on the YouTube. I'm very strong on reading and nobody's done more for books. Books were doing so poorly before I showed up, and now everybody's coming out with books about Trump, trying to make money off of Trump. It's a disgrace. And they should honestly be all thanking me in their books, because without me they'd make no money. Okay, and unlike Sleepy Joe Biden, I don't need one of those large print books, okay, for the sort of old, weak-eyed people, the sort of sad people who are almost blind. I have great eyesight, okay, and strong reading. So this week we're talking about a new book that came out. It's called Disloyal, and I think it's the only thing you got right, by my failed former lawyer, Michael Cohen, okay? A real disgrace, okay, and not the sharp thing in the place where you keep sharp things, not the sharpest. He went to Thomas Coolio Law School, which, by the way, is not a top-tier law school. I think it's one of the worst law schools. And it's the Coolio Law School. It's the one, remember Dangerous Minds? Remember with Coolio? He was singing about the gangbang paradise, and they have Michelle Pfeiffer with all... I get emotional when I think of that movie. With all the Latinos and African Americans with Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's... You know, I was disappointed because they were saying gangbang paradise, and yet I never saw them do anything. Okay, so Coolio Law School, the song is a lie, and the law school is not very good. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with when we talk about Michael Cohen. Okay, we're talking about Coolio Law School, total loser. But I want to read a passage from this book for you this week, just to show you don't have to buy it. Okay, save your money and don't make the failed Michael Cohen rich off of me. But there's an important passage I want to read, so we're going to read it with great strength right now. The election of 2008 was a cataclysm. Fake word. You always know these are bad writers when they make up words. Was a cataclysm for Trump. Well, that's me. As he watched a young African-American senator from Illinois defeat first Hillary Clinton, Crooked Hillary, that's her full name, and then John McCain, rest in hell. Barack Obama's victory, in many ways, was the defining event of Donald Trump's rise. There were really no words to describe Trump's hatred and contempt for Barack Hussein Obama. God, I hate that guy. Always all three names, and always with a disdainful emphasis on the middle. This was when I started to witness the increasingly reactionary and unhinged Archie Bunker we love Archie Bunker racism that defined Trump and his views on modern America. He was friendly with many African American people. This is the whole point, totally not racist. Okay, friendly with some African American people, even though some of them, I don't like that much. I'm still friendly. That shows not racist. Pretty much exclusively of the celebrity variety. Well, I don't want to stay, regular blacks. Who wants to be near them? Trump really had no friends, only interests and desires and ambitions. And he wasn't so stupid as to use the N-word. See, I'm so smart not to use the N-word. I think it, but I don't use it. Totally not racist. At least not in my presence. Mike Tyson, Don King, Oprah, those were the black folks he admired and embraced. Rich, famous. Gets heavy, the book, yeah, switch hands. Part of the peer group he inhabited. But as a rule, Trump expressed low opinions of all black folks, from music to culture and politics. Africa was a hellhole, he believed, and Nelson Mandela, to use but one example, was an object of contempt for Trump. Tell me one country run by a black person that isn't a shithole, he would challenge me as he cursed out the stupidity of Obama. They are all complete fucking toilets. Well, okay, well that's an accurate quote. I'll give it. I said that word for word. When Mandela passed away, probably hanging out with John McCain now, years later, Trump told me he didn't think the South African founding father and national hero was a real leader, not the kind he respected. South Africa was once a beautiful country 20, 30 years ago, Trump said, endorsing apartheid era, white rule. I get whites do rule. You know, like the kids used to say that rules. Well, whites rule. Mandela fucked up the whole country. Now it's a shithole. Fuck for the kids. You know, there's kids watching. F Mandela, okay, but I said the full word. He was no leader. Okay, well, a broken clock is right a few times a day, and I think he's... Okay, so these are two accurate quotes, but otherwise Michael Cohen a total liar. Don't ask me how I squared this kind of racism with his qualifications to be president. Gotta switch hands again. Heavy book. The lies are very heavy. I wanted power, as I've confessed, and that blinded me to just about everything awful and true and dangerous about Trump. My precious. My precious. Like the Lord of the Rings guy? Watching Obama's inauguration in 2008 with Trump. What a disgraceful day for this country. With the massive, adoring, joyful crowd on the mall. Not as big as mine, look at the pictures. Incensed the boss in a way I'd never seen before. He was literally losing his mind watching a handsome and self-evidently brilliant young black man take over not only as commander-in-chief, but also as a moral world leader and guiding light. No, that's, I was sad because he was black. It was just too much for Trump. I thought I'd seen the worst of Trump then, but when Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize, Trump went ballistic, as if the universe were playing some kind of trick on him to drive him out of his mind. He didn't deserve it, nothing noble about Obama. If it was the African prize, I would have said that's okay. Trump mocked the way Obama talked, walked, even appeared, as if acting presidential was just that, an act. The shtick you see him pull at his rallies when he mocks the idea of being presidential and says how easy it is to pretend to be a serious leader, walking like a robot and marching around like a fool and a phony, was first performed for yours truly in Trump's office while I sat quietly listening to him go on and on about Obama and caricature his mannerisms. We even hired a folksbama. It's X. The X is not silent, so it's folksbama or fake Obama to record a video where Trump ritualistically belittled the first black president and then fired him. A kind of fantasy fulfillment that it was hard to imagine any adult would spend serious money living out until he did the functional equivalent in the real world. And you know what, he's right, because if you can see, there's the picture of me firing the black guy who we called Obama. Okay, now he didn't talk. This is sort of fake because he didn't talk about all the times I called the Obama actor the N-word. So he doesn't have the whole story. So it's fake news. And the Obama actor, I was very disappointed. He declined to do a cuck video with my wife mesothelioma. Like all the great evangelical Christian leaders do with their wives. Trump didn't despise Obama. It was much, much stronger than that. I figured that, well, that's true. I hate that African American. And he's not American, by the way. I figured that Obama was the only person on the planet whom Trump actually envied, truly, madly, deeply. Air Force One, walking the carpet to deliver the State of the Onion, the way Angels, Merkel, and other world leaders obviously admired and listened to Obama, it drove Trump out of his mind. It didn't. I was very calm. Very calm. I calmly screamed the N-word at my television every time he spoke in a very sort of calm, business type way. Then came the speech. Obama was invited to address the German nation in front of the Brandenburg Gate, in the same place as John F. Kennedy in the early 60s, one of the indelible another made-up word, images of American history in the 20th century. Trump went from incandescent to sputtering, spittle-flecked fury as he watched Obama talk about freedom and ridding the world of nuclear weapons and turning back the rising seas by fighting global warming. You've got to admit he's a great orator, I said. F him, we're being nice. Trump yelled at me, Obama on the screen before him calmly addressing untold millions of Germans. You know, it's nothing against the Germans. I've seen great leaders in old videos addressing many German people with great speeches. I love those speeches, you know, the 30s and 40s. There were some great German speeches, not Obama. Obama on the screen before him, calmly addressing untold millions of Germans, thrilled to have a world leader ushering in the well, he should be an usher, you know, and not the dancing kind, just a lowly usher. The prospect of a 21st century where diversity and tolerance and peace and responsibility would become global aspirations and maybe even realities. He's obviously very smart, I said, knowing I was egging Trump on, but also honestly impressed by Obama's speech. And to me, well, you went to Coolio Law School. Of course you're impressed by whatever Obama says. Obama is a effing phony. I said that. I said it very loudly. Trump screamed. He's a Manchurian candidate. He's not even effing American. The only reason he got into effing Harvard Law School and Columbia was effing affirmative action. He could never get into those schools on his effing grades. F him. Maybe I was wrong about Michael Cohen. I mean, he's still a loser and a disgrace and disloyal, like the book says. But all that he just said was true. You know, except he didn't include the part of me screaming at the Obama impersonator, the N-word. So he left that out, so it's totally, you know, sort of not reliable. And the part about asking the Obama impersonator to, you know, do a cuck video with my wife Melatonin. Other than that, actually pretty accurate, but I'm sure the rest of the book is nasty and a disgrace. So that's it. Later this week, we're going to be reading Bob Woodward. Okay, he wrote a nasty fake book about me using my own words. And that's sort of the lowest trick in all of journalism to do that. Even though my great Vice President, Mike Pence, says he loves Wood, he's not going to like this book, I can tell you that. So until then, we'll see what happens.